Hey guys, welcome to the shop. On today's video of Moose's Machinery, we're actually doing a review on my Grizzly model G1015 knife blade sander buffer. This is a really, dare I say, relatively budget friendly 2x72 belt grinder. It does have the buffing wheel. The buffing wheel was actually the selling point for me because there are other similarly priced belt sanders out there. Frankly, they're better belt sanders. If this is all you can afford and you only have space for one machine, you will not regret buying this. It is way better than no belt grinder, but it does have some issues. The platen here, I'm not super fond of this setup. I don't find it very rigid. It will rattle loose over time, and I'm always adjusting it. But it does fold out of the way without removal because a lot of the grinding I do, that's just in the way. I don't want it there. The wheel tracking up here isn't the best. I don't really think you get enough tension on the belts for good tracking with that spring, unfortunately. But it's a good grinder. I use it a lot. I'm very happy with it. I don't regret the purchase. I bought it on sale a year and a half ago. They're more expensive now than they used to be, but it's a great machine. You can remove a lot of material quickly. I do a lot of good work on it. I'll grab a knife real quick and show you the most recent knife I ground with it. I really like this long shaft because you can put a buffing wheel on a bench grinder like the one I have behind me. I don't know if it's in frame or not, but it doesn't work as well. So for firearms, I like this. I'd almost wish it was a little bit longer or I was running a bigger wheel. The downside to this is it runs at 1725 RPM. So I'm not really comfortable going to more than an 8-inch wheel just because you get surface speed and these can fly apart if you spin them too fast. So it's trade-off. If this is a 1200 RPM machine, I could run a 10-inch wheel on here and feel comfortable, but it's not. And for under $1,000, it's really hard to get anything, any 2x72 grinder into any decent, buffing compound setup doohickey. So, for a one-stop shop, I think these are good options. You just need to understand that they're not perfect. And you also need to accept that it's a compromise. By getting a compact, inexpensive design, I've traded off on both the grinder and the buffer, but I have both in one compact machine. And I think you can also just get the motor on these. It's basically just a two-sided buffer, and I've thought hard about it. Now, I'm not the biggest fan of Grizzly. I do have quite a few Grizzly machines and tools in here. I've got this, I've got a HEPA filter, and I've got my lathe. So obviously, I don't mind buying green. They're not my first choice, but sometimes they're my only choice because they're the best that I can afford. And if this is something you can afford, absolutely good machine. I don't think you'll regret it. Especially if it's your first 2x72, you won't have a frame of reference for the issues it has, and you won't know that it's not perfect. You'll just be like, wow, this is great. This is so much better than doing it by hand or so much better than the bench grinder. And if that's the case, you'll love it. I love it, even though I've used, I think they're 2x144 or 4x144. They're massive. They're 3 to 5 horsepower grinders. I still like this because those won't fit in my shop. And it's not reversible. So there's some cases where a reversible grinder would be nice. It's only one speed. There's some cases where a variable speed grinder would be nice. But, I'm not complaining, guys. I think that if you're looking for something like this, you're limited in budget and you're limited in space, buy one of these. I don't think you'll regret it.